Advisory Board member Wendy Osefo, professor, Johns Hopkins University. All right, Wendy, I'll come to you first. What is this strategy that Speaker Pelosi has, and do you think it'll work?
I think this strategy is an all-hands-on-deck strategy. I think Speaker Pelosi is sensing the vibe that everyone else is sensing, that is going to be that this election is the most consequential one of our lifetime. There is so much at stake here, and she is saying that when it comes down to the wire, if it comes down to the wire, she is not willing to lose this. So we need to make sure that all Democrats are on board, and if needed, they will be there to put Biden into office. I mean, whether it's the Supreme Court pick, whether it's so many different policies on the line, this election is going to be one that is going to be pivotal in our country. And Democrats are not willing to lose this. And whatever it takes, they are willing to do that. And that's what Pelosi is saying.
Jason?
Harris, it's very clear to me that Democrats have no intention on allowing the American people to decide who the next president is. They didn't even allow the peaceful transition of power back in 2016. And if you think about it, back in 2016, President Trump, who was untested at the time as a political candidate, was up against an enormously potent adversary in the Clinton machine. Their war chest and their boots on the ground alone were of titanic proportions. You don't have that this time around. They know that they're going to lose if they don't push mail-in voter fraud, if you don't have ballot harvesting. They clearly understand that this would be a landslide election if it wasn't for lying, cheating, and stealing an election. So that's their strategy. Their strategy is to tee it up to steal it.
So, Jason, you said that there was no peaceful transfer of power in 2016. Actually, there was. I mean, the country wasn't at war. There was no. What do you mean by that?
Well,
just real quickly, I want to clear that up.
Sure. Yeah, what I'm talking about when I say there was no peaceful transition of power is really some of the bombshells that we got last week with regards to the Steele dossier. The subsource was a Russian spy.
I see.
The DNC
you mean in terms of the
it.
investigations?
They ripped this country apart for 4 years and didn't allow the president and accept the results of the 2016 election.
All right, I got you. I just want to clear it up because if people are watching and they're wondering, wait, but I didn't partake in a civil war. I don't know what this is about. I get you. I get your point. On the eve of the first presidential debate, a new NBC Marist poll shows this. Joe Biden leading President Trump in two key battleground states that the president won in 2016. Biden ahead by 10 points in Wisconsin and 8 points in Michigan. You know, Wendy, on this day, when you talk COVID-19, this actually matters because Wisconsin is struggling right now. Their positivity rate is jumped, and it's making headlines. It has been for the last couple of days. Coronavirus will be on the ballot in some way, shape, or form, potentially in that state.
Absolutely. And I think that when it comes time for people to vote, everything is going to be on the ballot. We are in a global pandemic. We are in an economic crisis for a lot of people who are out of jobs. We are facing issues when it comes to social injustice within our country. So when we look at these numbers and when we look at these poll numbers, it's very clear that Biden is speaking to the hearts of Americans. He is speaking to the needs of Americans. And it's something that others on the other side of the aisle, be that Republicans, need to be aware of. 10 points, 8 points in Michigan, that is something to be alarmed about. And to Jason's point about a peaceful transfer of power, let us make the record very clear here. Trump is the one who said that if he loses, he does not know if he will leave peacefully. So this election is consequential, not just because of the policies that are on the line, not just because of the issues, but also because if he does not leave peacefully, our country will be on the brink of a civil war.
Jason, we're still more than 30 days out. We're on the eve of the first presidential debate. So we don't really know how these polls are going to do. They always historically tighten a bit. What's your word about the new NBC Marist polling?
Yeah, Harris, I really don't trust any of these polls. You go back to 2016 polls, they oversampled Democrats in many key states and areas. The enthusiasm gap between Joe Biden and President Trump is wider, much wider than there was between Hillary Clinton and President Trump. I think you see that in the boat parades, in every body of water in this country. You see it in the rallies. You see the enthusiasm for this president because he's had 47 months of record-breaking successes for the American people. And I think that these polls are really not trusted. And I would not recommend the American people trust any of these polls.
Jason, Wendy, great to see you both. Thank you for the conversation, the good debate today.